Welcome to Manufacturing Insiders. Today I have Jessica Hickman Fresch. She is about to be a part owner of Hickman Woods. They are a luxury flooring manufacturer, solid wood, all natural stuff. They actually have a pretty well integrated business. We're going to have an interesting talk today because Jessica's business has really been hit with every type of adversity you could imagine. Some of it is common to a lot of the manufacturers we talk to, the typical labor, sort of workforce issues, the tariff issues, and all the just general issues of running businesses. She's had some additional things come up. And so we're going to talk today about how she has been able to kind of maintain a positive outlook for the business and how to deal with these issues in a way that's gonna dog action in the background.
Yeah, sorry, my daughter.
So basically just how she's dealing with this adversity and how she is going to continue to grow this business and if there's been any solutions to some of the issues. So welcome to Manufacturing Insiders, Jessica.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Before I get started, I'd just like to make a quick note. If you are a leader and you have some insights that you feel other leaders would benefit from in the manufacturing space, what we're really trying to do here is make U.S. manufacturing more successful. And I think one of the best ways to do that is just to share what's working from leader to leader. So if you have some insights, go to manufacturinginsiders.com, fill out the form there, and we'd love to have you on as a guest. Also, please subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and we'd like to see more of you. So Jessica, tell me about Hickman Woods and kind of the different divisions you have there.
Yeah, so we technically have three separate companies. My great-grandfather, Harry Hickman, started Hickman Lumber in 1938. So that's where It started. And it was just, Depression era. He had a team of horses in a traveling sawmill in the woods that him and my great-grandmother cut railroad ties and mine beams. So that's kind of how it started. And then my grandfather, Pop Larry, he was really one that grew the sawmill, so he grew up in the woods, helping out at his dad's mill, went to lumber grading school. And then in the 60s, I don't remember the year right now, but he ended up coming back, worked for another lumber company, came back with Poppy Hickman. They combined, and he's the one that built up the sawmill. So that really started getting built up in the 60s. He started buying a lot of timber land then as well. He was really passionate about how he managed the forest.
Yep.
And caring for the forest long term. And so that's where we really grew, in the 60s, 70s, 80s. And 80s, my dad came on full time. He went to lumber grading school as well and came back and started lumber salesman. And then in 2000, and back then too, and they used to send lumber, furniture companies down North Carolina by the container full, right? There was, people in the US that were buying lumber.
Right.
We started losing that. And so in 2000, we decided to, they tried a couple different things, but settled on making hardwood flooring, a high-end hardwood flooring that doesn't compete with the Home Depot product, right? And so we're very fortunate in Western Pennsylvania where we are. We've got some of the best trees in the country growing here. We've got really beautiful white oak and red oak. We specialize in a cut called rift and quarter sawn, so it's a little specialty cut. So we've got our own dry kilns that we do. And then, so we just took that model that we were already doing with the lumber. We started doing the flooring in 2000. Started growing.
Which ironically happened to be kind of the peak of hardwood floor demand.
Yeah. Well, that's something my dad will tell you is, in the early 2000s, any idiot could have ran a flooring company and made money. It was just the housing market boom. And he was smart. He didn't overextend himself. The banks were throwing money at him in early 2000s, trying to build and add on and grow the flooring company. And he didn't do too much. So we survived. We were able to stay afloat during the recession there, where so many other mills closed, and we survived that. We had a niche. Because of how we managed the forest, we actually got FSC certified. So that's it's a third party verification saying that we're growing more trees than we're cutting is the,
Okay. Okay.
it's a
That's
lot more
interesting.
into that, but that's basically what it is. So if,
With the forestry management company, you guys own forest and
yes,
manage it? Oh, I
yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah, so we do both. So we own about 6,000 acres, and then we manage about double that. Um,
How
and we
many?
got into
Say that number again.
6,000 acres.
Wow.
So, um, and when we got in the FSC, one of the foresters in the late 90s brought it to my dad's attention. And, dad will say, oh, the last thing I need is Al Gore telling me how to grow oak trees, So he was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not doing anything with this. But he looked at it. He took the time and actually looked at it. And what the requirements were for managing the forest, we were already doing that or exceeding that, by basically when cherry was hot, we didn't go cut all the cherry down, right? Like you're planning for the long-term future. Right now,
Right.
white oak's hot. We're not going to go cut down all the white oak trees because we want to make sure we still have seed trees.
Yep.
So in the future, we still have white oak growing. So anyway, so we were doing this management. We lack the paperwork, but we put in the time and the money to get all the paperwork and the documents in line. And the idea for that was at the time was to help grow our timber management side and getting other local owners, landowners to trust the sawmill, right? Because sawmill guys might not have the best reputation if they want to come and manage your forest. But this third party verification gave a landowner the confidence, like, okay, they're going to do the right thing. They're caring for the forest. They're thinking about where the animal dens are, whatever that homeowner really
Okay.
wants without
So
forest.
other property owners would sell you timber rights to the. Okay.
Basically, yeah. So we'll manage their property. And then the way we have it set up is our foresters will go in, mark the timber. We get first right of offer with it. And they could go out, and if they decide to put it to open bid for other sawmills to bid on that, then we would get a percentage of the management fee of what they sell it for. So it works out. And by now we've had enough good relationships and we've been doing it long enough that that's just kind of, it's kind of on a handshake. And then whenever it's time to harvest, we'll harvest and then we buy the timber from them. And so it's just, we're not having to bid on it on the open market. So.
Right. So that 6,000 acres you mentioned is property that you manage, not necessarily that you own. Is that right?
No, that's what we own. And then we manage probably double
see.
that. We probably manage over 12,000 acres.
I see. Do you have any other ways to monetize that property? Like, I'm a hunter. Like, I'm thinking, do you do hunting leases?
Yep. And we started doing that. I don't know the year that they switched to do that, but yes, so we have to do hunting leases. And why that changed was because the tax structure changed, right? So the tax structure, we used to have just open, hey, like go hunt on these properties because we want deer killed because deer will destroy, any regeneration in the forest. Yeah. So we used to, my grandfather and dad, their property was just open for, any hunters to go use it. When the tax structure changed, I don't know when that was, but basically, so those big land, forested areas were taxed way up to lower the taxes on the individual households. So to cover that added cost, we started leasing out that property. So we lease it to hunters now. And then we also have a property that we do a mountain bike race on in Oil City. Which we haven't charged them at all for it. I'm a big mountain biker and I kind of use it as like promotion to show people like, you can have an active timber managed property and it still can be recreational at the same time. But it's starting to grow. So we're going to start having, just help cover cost of us kind of maintaining the roads and different things within the woods that they use. So, so we have that on one of our properties as well. So
I would imagine that it makes it more profitable and, easier, create at least some sort of stability in your flooring product to have your mill, to have the forestry end of things. Do you think it would work without that? Or is that really the only way it can work?
I think it's helped us build our reputation and story as far as, there's lots of flooring companies out there that just buy kiln dried lumber and make flooring and sell it, but I think it's allowed us to, tell the story more. It allows us, we're just fortunate, like I said, where we're located, we've got some of the best timber in the country growing in this Allegheny Plateau of Western Pennsylvania. So we're fortunate with that. It's helped in times when, like hasn't been easy the last couple of years. As far as, white oak's high demand, white oak price to buy logs is super expensive. and there's a lot of competition out there within the hardwood flooring industry because of, you used to have like your strip mills down south that were hardwood flooring, but they were your builder grade stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now your builders are using plastic floors, stuff,
Right.
and that's builder grade now is just plastic floors. So anybody in the hardwood flooring industry is a high end now, right? Even the
Right.
mills that aren't. So it's wedging our high end market, is getting more competitive with
Right.
maybe quality that's not as good, but it's real wood,
Yeah.
and not everybody, I compare like flooring in wood to like a whiskey, right? You've got top shelf whiskey and you've got lower shelf whiskey. It's still whiskey. It does the job at the end of the night after a few drinks, but
Right.
there's a reason of one bottle can be 3, 5, 10 times as much.
Right.
There's, just the way that it's cut and dried, the color of it.
And I love real wood. I mean, I love the look of it. I love things that are made out of real wood. My wife's always trying to paint everything. I'm like, why are you going to paint that? Like, I want to see the wood. I even built a little log cabin back behind my house, cut down. We have a bunch of tulip. And so I cut down a bunch of tulip logs and stripped them and built myself a log cabin back there.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's funny in this room with my background. This is painted trim. The rest of my house, when I renovated it, this was painted when I bought it, and I renovated it, and I did wood trim, around with the floors and everything, and
Yeah.
Wood cabinets I have. But yeah, it's funny. This room now, my background, I'm like, oh, I have painted here, but yeah, no,
So has the FSC certification, does it help you make more sales?
it has helped. I mean, we use it, like I said, as a tool to get landowners to trust a sawmill. By now, I don't think it's that valuable. We have a reputation. People know us. I don't think it's is as much weight for the landowner. We can't get more money in general for FSC lumber. There's a little bit
Right.
over Europe. We could do some, but where it's helped is we get spec into jobs. So there's still enough projects. Like we just got flooring put into the Obama National Library, right? The Penn State Palmer Art Museum has our flooring in it, and those jobs that are like LEED certified buildings.
Yeah.
They still require that FSC certified spec. A normal homeowner, they having that FSC certification, it's not going to get us any more sales with a normal homeowner, because it's
because they aren't the
wood's not really any different. We're growing it the same.
Priorities.
It's a little bit of that warm and fuzzy feel, but I could just tell you the story without paying the $1,000 for that certification,
Right.
and we're still growing a lot more trees than we're cutting.
Right.
And there's other certifications out there, but the FSC still is considered the gold standard. There's different mix with stuff like that, but it gets us into enough, one or two museums or something like that a year that would cover that. So
Yeah.
it's still worth it. They've been giving us a hard time. We had a fire. We haven't talked about that yet. We had a fire last September at our sawmill, and so when we had our audit this summer, we have another local mill that's cutting for us. And we still have our guys are able to work at this other mill because their employees don't have, they're short on employees as well. So our guys were able to work there. So they're still doing it. They're scaling the logs. They're keeping track of that FSC material the same way.
Right.
But now when we came to our annual audit, they were giving us a hard time because there were certain procedures, and there was a couple different things at this mill that was letting us use their mill that they didn't have the same level of the FSC requirements, right? And just stupid little things. And so they gave us a hard time about that. And it was like, I'm not going to go tell this mill that's doing us a favor that, oh, you need to,
Right.
you need to do this and have this, and just like certain things like, I don't know, just even, with the foresters, like if they don't buckle their seatbelt, like just applying by all the laws, right? Just like these like little nitpicky things that auditors come in and they have to feel like they have to find something or they're not doing their job.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So
like the IRS.
yeah. So I was ready to, we came up with a plan. We don't sell, the majority of our flooring that we sell comes from FSC certified forest, but we don't stamp it because there's not enough demand for it and adds the paperwork. So we agreed on, all right, anything else that's cut from those mills, we just won't market it. It just won't be FSC certified. And then, so I was ready to be like, it's not worth it for you guys. You're going to give us a hard time about this. But we're sticking with it for now. So.
Is it like is it like government?
No,
Who's doing it?
it's volunteered. So it was in the 90s. You know, you had your environmentalists and you had industry, and they were, you know, in the 90s, environmentalists were like total tree huggers, like
Diametrically
we can't,
opposed.
don't cut down a tree, save the spot, save the owls and everything. And industry, and they both realized, okay, we're not, neither of us are going away. We need to work together. So that was kind of industry and environmentals coming together. Let's do this FSC. Let's make a way that consumers can have the power and they can, put their money in products that, have it. But it's an
Right.
international standard. So we have to check with the local indigenous tribe to make sure like they're okay with us cutting on their old land, right? Which is, so like we sent a letter up to, like when we, signed up, we sent a letter up to Salamanca and to the reservation. And I don't know what we would have done if they would have been like, actually, no,
We're happy with our casino.
right. Like, no, we want this land back. Like, I don't know
Like,
what that would have, I don't think we ever heard an answer, but we had to just check that box that we
how
sent a letter.
ridiculous.
So,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
And that's, so it sounded like you had a pretty good solution worked out. Just fortunate that you had a good relationship with another mill that needed employees. Your guys could go over there and pretty much do the same work.
Yeah.
What other challenges have you faced from that fire?
Fire. I mean, that's, yeah, we've got two other mills right now that, that are near us that we've been able to work with. And, but it's a challenge because there's just different times where like this summer, they're working on cutting their own stuff and they're busy. And, we got down to a point where we didn't have any lumber at all in our kilns. Right. And, so that's been a struggle. I mean, we were able to keep going. We're making it work, but, just the inconsistency has been difficult. And it's still, even now our sawmill's not rebuilt. It took a lot of fight with insurance getting started. We had some issues with bank stuff and all that. And then, throughout all this in the summer and our rebuild, my grandfather passed away as one of the owners, and my dad's been sick fighting cancer. So it's been a struggle this last year.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot to get thrown into. And you didn't even really intend to be part of the family business when
Initially,
you were starting out.
I told my dad I'd give him 3 years back in 2012. I studied international business and Spanish and worked abroad and never thought I would end up in Western Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but I love it. I mean, it's a great industry. I love the people. I'm passionate and, even after all this and talking with different people and it's in the industry and rebuilding and what the family we're going through. And it's like, for better or worse, it just the industry gets in our blood and we just, I'm passionate about it. I think what we're doing, the way that we're managing the forest and caring for it. And I'm an environmentalist. Like I think the way we take care of the forest and even just in the industry in general, like we're doing a lot of good. We're making a product that lasts hundreds of years. And, so I'm, as building houses, products and houses that last, it just drives me crazy that people are putting in products like flooring, like a key feature in a house that if they're building a house with a 30-year mortgage, they're going to have to replace that floor 3 or 4 times before their mortgage is even paid off, right? With a hardwood floor, if you used a real product, then that floor is going to outlast the house. It's going to outlast the mortgage, especially,
Yep.
And just trying to get that message across, I'm like shooting into the wind sometimes, screaming into the wind, but.
Yeah. And it's not even just the replacement cost, but, it's just healthier to have a real wood product instead of a plastic product.
Yep. And, with dealing with the cancer in my family right now and just reading about all the the toxins around us. And it's just like, all right, well, wood is still, it's non-toxic. There's also benefits. There's so the green building movement, right, went from very much like energy savings, right? And now it's getting more into that biophilic design and how can we build things to make our health better? And wood just fits right in perfectly with that, the nature of, the fact of being outside in nature makes you feel better. You go out for a walk or you hang out by the ocean or a waterfall and walk in the woods. In Asia and Japan, they do forest bathing as a like prescription. The doctors will give you like, go spend time in the woods, right? Like lower your stress. We spend most of our time indoors. And so by bringing some of that natural products indoors, into our living environment, it actually kind of shows. There's studies that are kind of come out that show it gives some of the same benefits as actually spending time in the woods.
Interesting. I didn't know
So
that, but yeah, I did know like taking a walk in the forest actually increases brain function. And they
yes,
and they try to study it and say, okay, well, maybe there's more oxygen in the forest. And so they did that. And then they said, okay, well, maybe if we show someone pictures of a forest and give them additional oxygen, maybe you'll get the same. They couldn't replicate the result. It's just something about being in the
there's
forest.
some, and it's kind of that hippy dippy, like, oh, maybe it's the energy or whatever, but
True.
it's, I think
I
there's
believe
something
it.
to that. And
I
so
believe
it's,
it.
yep.
Yeah.
So it's, it's just getting that message across. And, I follow all the like different building groups on Facebook and different things. And people will be like, oh, I'm living on my LVP floor. I haven't died of toxins yet. It's like, cancer sucks. Believe me, it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So most people know.
Yeah. So with the, with the kind of market decline, 30% decline in demand for real wood flooring, because of all the LVP, LVT, all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
since 2000. Have you found ways around that? Or are you still seeing a pretty stable market for your product just because you're so, so niche and have such a, higher level product?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's difficult, but we still are doing okay. But we're also not huge, and I don't want to grow bigger. I kind of, just keep giving a good quality product and
Right.
putting out there what we have. And uh, so yeah, I think yes and no. Yes, I see it's difficult, and I see some decline, but we are fortunate enough to have a niche, to have a good reputation, that we've have a lot of repeat customers. We've got contractors all over the country that have been buying from us for 25 years that are still good loyal customers, right? That they use our stuff. And
Yep.
if they, and they're known for in their market, these contractors, that they're the best. And so when people go to them, they don't give them options of, okay, well, this is good, better, best, real hardwood, right? This is like,
Hmm.
nope, we use Allegheny, we trust them, we know their product. And so
Yep.
we're really fortunate to have the relationships and the customers that we've built over these years, and that's kind of helped us going. And I mean, the Google reviews, things like that, that we have that niche, that Rift and Quarter Sawn and the FSC. Still, we get enough big jobs from that kind of helps keep the bigger stuff, and the little jobs that keep the lights on, right? The 500 square feet to 2,000 square foot jobs, those are the one that keep the lights on and pay the
Right.
bills. So
Right.
those, try to focus on those, but
Yeah.
kind of a balance of everything.
Do you guys do like full kind of, complementary, wood products? So obviously you do the flooring, but somebody
Mm-hmm.
wants their trim to match that flooring. Somebody wants their bookshelves to match that flooring and their doors. And what, how do you work that out in those
We
cases?
will. So I don't advertise that. It's not like it's on our website that I'll sell you a board or two of lumber, but we do treads and risers. If someone needs shelves that we can glue up boards, or a lot of times we just sell the blanks. But it's basically, if you buy a flooring, then and you need that trim or you need some lumber or something, we can get it. I do have. There's some other little mills around that we have. Not very often. Typically, we'll send the lumber, but I have milled, stuff with, for walls with like nickel gap or different things like that. So we can
Yeah.
do all of that. We're not like some like a company like Baird Brothers or something in Ohio where they do doors and trims and flooring and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so we try to mostly focus and keep just the flooring is where we're at, but we can help out people, homeowners and stuff, if they need little other
Yeah.
pieces and things. So yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a good friend and customer that owns Allegheny Woodworks, and he's kind of up by us here in Erie,
Yeah, I'm
and
familiar with that.
they're one of the premier solid hardwood door manufacturers in the U.S., and they do some trim and things like that too.
Cool.
Um,
And that's what I would, that's what I would say to most people that have like a big package or trying to do a house with a lot of stuff,
yeah,
would be, somebody like that, where someone that's local that's buying their white oak or red oak from this area, then
yep,
it's going to match.
yeah, absolutely. So the most challenging thing of all with your business, I assume is your father. In that situation, what what's kind of the biggest, and I'm sure it's everything, but what do you think is the biggest thing that you're going to need to take responsibility for, if he's not available?
Dad was definitely, the last 10 years, he was just kind of the glue. He set up a really good team. I think he was looking forward to retirement anyways, right? Like we've got a great plant manager. We've got great foresters. Zach and I would handle kind of the sales and everything. So we've done that. And Zach's really growing with the sales end of things. Our office ladies are great. The sawmill, sawmill's got a good team. My brother's out there. The sawmills we've had, and this year we've had a couple key guys retire or retiring as well. Our lumber salesman's retiring. So, that's been the struggle too, is, guys that have been with us for 20, 30, 40 years, in the last 5 years that have been leaving. So,
Yep.
so it's a lot of that. I think it's going to be helping, kind of be the glue that sticks, helps stick things together, being like doing meetings and just having the communication. There's so many levels with what we do, just making sure everybody's communicating and we have regular meetings and finding the need, seeing what we can do. My focus right now is going to be working on getting employees, right? Like as we rebuild the sawmill and getting guys back up. We were able to keep a lot of our key guys, but we're going to need more. So working on different things. I've got the plan to do maybe some videos where we talk to guys that have worked with us for a long time, guys that worked with us and then decided, oh, maybe the grass is greener somewhere else, and then came back, and been working with us for a long time, and having them tell their story and trying to get that out there to get people working. So that's kind of my brother's and my focus is going to have to be for the next few months.
How many people do you need to be fully staffed? At least when that mill gets back up.
We could easily take probably another 10.
Okay.
At least.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just podcast a couple days ago. I did. The guy had this great thing, and he's been fully staffed. He actually has 250 employees in this facility.
Oh, wow.
I said, well, how can you maintain that? Like, how do you find these people? And he said one of the things that's worked the best, he calls it their golden ticket program. But basically, you're using your employees as a referral source, but you're giving your employees a really attractive benefit for that. So, it could be a cash bonus plus some time off. And then you always want to make sure that you're publicly recognizing them, maybe in a weekly meeting or a monthly meeting, whatever you do. But he said it works great. All their employees come from referrals now.
Okay.
So I think that may be something that and obviously the videos would be complementary to that, but you need to get these people in the door first.
Yeah.
And so then obviously with the golden ticket, the bonus, that's going to come once that person has achieved whatever their probationary period is, whether that be, 90 days might be a little short, but maybe you give them half of it in 90 days and then give them the other half in 6 months or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Really good idea.
I think I've actually mentioned it to a couple people because I thought it really caught my attention when he said it. I was like, oh wow, that's something people could use. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you could try that out.
Yeah, I like it.
And then making the referral process super easy. Like the one suggestion would be to have a QR code in the break room, and a little table triangle thing. And basically they just put the name in, whatever notes you need to know about that person. And so give it a try.
Nice. I will. That's a great idea. I appreciate that.
For sure. So what have you had anything really working for the hiring? Has anything been effective for you in the past?
And that's my brother's deals with a lot more of that. I've been traditional. I work from home. I'm sales and marketing is what my focus has been for the last few years. But as far as what's kind of worked, I don't know, a different era. I don't know. We offer 100% health insurance.
Okay.
You know, and that's something we've done. Yeah, we don't take anything out of their paychecks.
Yep.
And that's something that we've talked a lot about. Like, you know, I mean, we have people that have been here and that's been a benefit. So, you know, but hiring new people, do we give them an option if they want that or not in the higher dollar amount, right? Because,
Right.
you know, 20-year-old single kid, they don't see the value in that,
Right.
as opposed to, you know, 40-year-old with a family does.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm a 40-year-old with a family, and I still don't see the value. And I think health insurance is the biggest scam in the world.
oh, an offering, but you mean as if for a company
Well,
offering that
no, I just mean
benefit?
from like it's a criticism of the industry, but from
Oh,
a company,
yeah.
you obviously need to have it. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a huge benefit. But I think it's ridiculous that we need to spend, $600, $700, $800 a month on
hmm
like, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, no, that's a whole other topic. I
Yeah.
could get into that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, that's you know, and even you think of even like insurance. You know, I was looking at the numbers that we pay for insurance just to have the sawmill operating, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
man, if we pay that hundreds of thousands of that we've been paying a year into insurance over the last, you know, 10 years. And I mean, I was just looking at the numbers for the last 5 years. And they just jumped up dramatically. Like 4 years ago, they jumped up over $250,000 a year. And it's like, and all we've gotten $3 million back for our sawmill. That's it. It's like, man, if we would have just put all that money into a
Investment.
mutual fund account each
Yeah.
year, and then it wouldn't have been a fight. We would have just taken it out, and then we would, you know, it wouldn't have been a fight with the
Exactly.
insurance. It's just like, but if we want to add new, you know, if we want to work with a bank and have a line of credit, like they're going to require us to have insurance. So it's just
Yep.
this whole big scam, and then the amount of money you pay to the bank, and you know,
Well, I
it's
know.
just,
That's the thing about insurance is they're the ones that are making all the investment money because they just
mm-hmm.
get your money, you just give it to them,
Yep,
and then they go invest it. It's called float. That's how they make all their money. And then when you actually need money back, they're like, yeah, we don't think we want to give that to you. It's
it,
like you got to take my money for all
yep,
these years for nothing
yep,
and protection or whatever and
mm-hmm.
invest it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, there needs to be a model like that where, maybe we should start an insurance company where it's actually an investment fund,
Yeah. Yep. And that's an option that you can do. That way you have control of it yourself and you're not, I mean, oh, it's been, you know, I'd blame my dad's cancer on it, on the stress with that, dealing
Really.
with it afterwards. 100%.
That's terrible. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's absolutely possible. I mean, stress causes a lot of diseases. It's linked
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of different diseases. Yeah, that's terrible that they would put them through that.
Mm-hmm.
So sad.
So, and plus, you
So,
know, you just want somebody to blame too.
well, yeah,
Dealing
yeah,
with cancer. You know, got to be angry at somebody.
yep. Yeah, the health related stuff, I feel like I should start a separate podcast to talk about because I'm obsessed with the topic. I mean, I'm very much into health myself, but I mean, I do all kinds of crazy stuff. I do ice baths.
Yeah.
I'm a big sauna guy. I do water
Mm-hmm.
fasts.
Yep.
I'm anti-vax, so I
Yeah.
I wear a tinfoil hat. But no, I mean, I'll tell you what, it's all coming out. It's all coming
Mm-hmm.
out, and
Yeah.
I honestly believe that if parents had been told the truth, nobody would be getting vaccines for their kids. It's killing
Mm-hmm.
people. But that's
Yeah. It's a whole other topic.
taken off of YouTube.
I know, ridiculous. But
Craziness. Well, I really admire your ability to keep your head up. And it's, boy, you've got a lot going on, and I just don't envy the position you're in. But you obviously your business has great bones. You have a great product, and I think with your passion for the product and your desire to make it succeed, it's going to. But yeah, let me know if you need any help with anything. I'm more than happy to
thank you.
offer my 2 cents as you're kind of taking on more responsibility in the company. But thanks a lot for coming on today and for everything you
Yeah.
shared.
Thank you. Appreciate it too. Thanks.
Absolutely. All right. Bye.
Bye.